I do not want you to have to go back to your boss and say, I'm so sorry, I retired too early. Can I have my job back? At the same time, I definitely don't want you to go, wow, I'm in a great spot. I'm just going to work one more year. Yep, one more bonus. Yeah, 2 more years, then I'm going to finally stop. And then all of a sudden you look back and go, hey, why didn't I retire earlier if I was in a fine spot to do so? There's actually a term for that. It's called goalpost planning, where you keep pushing the goalpost back until you feel you're fully confident and then look back and go, hey, why didn't I do X, Y, Z? So today's video, I'm going to go through 3 reasons that you should consider retiring early as soon as today if you're in a good spot to do so, and how to know if you are in a good spot. My name is Taublieb. I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast. I'm the vice president here at Root. And finally, I'm a certified financial planner. If you're looking for strategies to make sure you don't pay any more in taxes than you need to, your investments are set up correctly, and that you don't look back and go, why didn't I consider retiring earlier if I'm in a fine spot to do so, you're in the right spot, and I encourage you to subscribe and like this video for more content. The number one reason to retire early is that you can always make more money. Not saying you want to go back to work. Most of you are like, Ari, I never want to retire and have to go back to work. I don't want you to either. But the truth is, if you wanted to bring in some part-time income, you could. It's an option for a large majority of you. But time you cannot get back. That is the only non-renewable currency. And I want you to try to quantify on a spreadsheet the impact of spending more time with your family and friends and relationships, and you can't. And so I want to make sure that, yes, you're in an amazing spot to retire early, but you don't look back and go, hey, why didn't I retire earlier? I was in a fine spot to do so. I didn't consider this tax strategy. I didn't consider this investment allocation. And if I would have been in a great spot to retire early, maybe even in a better spot than I am right now. The sad reality is I've worked with many people that retired and then didn't, keep themselves in the best health, safe to say, and then passed away shortly after. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen that yourself, or you've seen your parents or other friends go through that, and they really didn't enjoy the fruits of their labor. And so once again, don't want you to retire too early ever, but I don't want you looking back going, why didn't I retire earlier, considering I do know that I don't know how long I'm going to be in this current health, or I don't know how long my spouse is going to be in the health she's in. So I actually brought on 2 of my clients onto my podcast, and you can see I recorded the video right here. It's about a 45-minute episode. If you want to hear them talk about how they retired early and what that conversation looked like, I think you're going to find it very valuable. So after this video, make sure to check out that video where you can see my in-depth interview with my current clients on how they retired early. Now, this goes without saying, but when you're on your deathbed, are you going to be wondering about your portfolio size or your last bonus? Or are you going to be worrying about, did you send that last email? Probably not. So don't want to harp on this too much, but I really want to make sure that none of you are simply going, hey, I didn't run the numbers. I don't know if I can retire. And so I don't want any of you wondering, am I in a good spot to retire early? What else is out there? Can I make it happen today? We don't know. The truth is, there's a lot of unknowns. So we can plan for as much as we can, but I tell people I don't do plans. And they're like, yes, you do. Like, you talk about it. I go, no, I do planning because life's going to change. Tax law is going to change. I need you to have a plan that's being updated constantly so you're always in a good spot. So the answer is pretty common, but you do have to strike a balance. You have to make sure you're in a great financial spot to retire early, but that you also know what you want to do in retirement, because too many people don't. And that's my second reason to retire early, which is oftentimes you're going to retire and go, this is awesome. I have the freedom from my boss, the freedom from project management, the freedom from commuting. That's great. But if you don't have what am I now going to pursue, meaning the freedom from to the freedom to, if you don't have the freedom to pursue your health, if you don't have any concept of what you want to do in retirement, and golfing doesn't just count, I'll tell you, I have a few clients that retired early and they couldn't wait to golf, and they called me up 8 weeks later, 6 weeks later, what do I do? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you want to do? They go, well, now I hurt my back, and so I don't really know how to fulfill my time. They ended up going back to work because they missed their community. So sometimes people go, yeah, I need to make sure financially I can retire early. I know exactly what I want to do. Great. Then this might not be as applicable to you. Other people are like, I want to retire early. I think I know what I want to do, but the truth is I don't know. Is there an optimal way of going through this? And there is. And so you can see right here, I have what's called the Post-Career Purpose Finder. We partnered with Sin Meyer, who's another amazing woman. She's on YouTube, as well as someone that we work very closely with to make sure that our clients are retiring early with total confidence, with purpose, with fulfillment. And too many people overlook that side of planning, which is why we discuss it. Because if your financial strategy looks awesome, but your life doesn't, then there's a problem there. So I want to make sure that you're not mad at me when you're in your 80s and you go, Ari, I have have tons of money. Why didn't you tell me I could have spent more when I had my energy, when I had my health, when I told you the dollars were worth more to me? The other sad reality is that most of you have been grinding for 40 or 50 years. You've worked so long that your health has been impacted, your time with family, your friends, your relationships. And so now it's, okay, I need to make sure I take care of my health, but now your health isn't in the greatest spot. So you have to do a whole lot more than the average person who may have taken care of their health very well, even though that person might not be where you are financially. So it's not you're better or worse. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is I want to make sure that you actually understand, if you have been grinding for many years, that it's time to start going, yeah, I'm going to redate my spouse, or I'm going to connect with my children to this certain degree, or I'm going to start practicing retirement even before you get there. Not saying it's easy, but that's one of the things I want you to do. And if you don't manage it well, the really sad truth is it could take years off your life. And I've seen that happen countless times. I had no concept that when I was going to start the early retirement podcast and this YouTube channel, that I was going to be hearing about health issues constantly. And that's what I am hearing, which is someone's in great health. They're in their late 50s, early 60s. Then all of a sudden, something really scary happens and they've got 3, 4, 5 years left to live. Yet they had planned on travel for 10 years and being with their spouse. And so it's, hey, we don't know how long we're going to have. So I want to make sure you're planning well. Now, the third reason to consider an early retirement is only because financially you're in a good spot to do so, but you actually don't want to stop working. That's how I envision my life. I love what I do. I'm very lucky. I feel like I found it early in life. It took me, a few different firms to make sure I found the company I wanted to be with long term. But I want to make sure that you are working because you want to, not because you have to. Some of you actually really enjoy what you do. I say, great, I want you to keep doing it. But others of you are going, hey, no, I'm really just here for a paycheck until financially I don't need to be here any longer. So if you're going, hey, I really just want to be here because for financial reasons, maybe you do need to consider, do I take a job? Yeah, maybe it pays less, but maybe I do it for more years. I end up having a greater financial benefit and I enjoy it more. Others of you are going, hey, Ari, that sounds great on YouTube, but the sad reality is that I can't just take another job. I don't have something that I can easily shift into. And so sometimes it's, yeah, you do have to work 2 more years until you're in a great spot to do XYZ. But now you're going to work going, hey, I have a clear plan telling me I'm working until November. And if markets do XYZ, it doesn't matter. I'm in a great spot. That's exactly when I'm going to retire. Other times it's someone coming to me going, hey, this is really helpful. I'm now going to work, but now I'm working 3 days a week, not 5 days, because I know I'm in a great spot financially. I don't need to do that. So that's the premise of today's video, is just starting to make you think a little differently about, yeah, should I start considering this earlier than later? Because too many people are like, all right, tell me financially what I need to do to have the best plan ever. I say, here's what you need to do. Work 20 more years. Your plan will look great, but your life won't, because your family and friends and relationships will suffer. I want you to retire as early as possible, as sustainably as possible. I don't want you to do what a client came to me once and said, Ari, I'll be one of your best clients. I said, why is that? They said, I have a really low withdrawal rate, which means I don't have to take a lot out of my portfolio. I won't run out of money. I said, that's great. You'll be one of my worst clients. They're like, what? I go, yeah, you'll be one of the worst. They go, I thought that was good. I'm not taking a lot out. I go, what I'd rather have you do is take the most out without running the risk of running out of money. Unless you want to pass away with $10 million, in which case, fine with me. And they go, no, I don't want to do that. I want to leave my home to my children, but really nothing beyond that. Or someone else who recently said, I don't have kids. How does that change my retirement projection? Knowing I'm not trying to die with 0 exactly, but I'm trying to get somewhere close to that. I don't want to pass away with $2 million. How does that change the plan? So just making sure that you're fully considering all options for a holistic financial strategy. That's what we're all about. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you are personally looking for a custom strategy to retire early with total confidence, you're in the right spot. This is what we love doing. We don't just focus on insurance or on estate planning or on income or on withdrawal or on taxes or investments. It's the whole package. So if you're looking for almost a financial quarterback to your financial life, someone that's going to actually partner alongside you and help you along this journey, that's what we're here for. I am one of the weird advisors that say everyone doesn't need an advisor. It just depends what stage of life you're in, what experience you're looking for. So hopefully this video was helpful, and I love you guys. See you in the next video.